Hey, it's New Rules, and we are hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
New Rules, what's up, guys? I'm excited to be getting to talk to you guys. Before we really dive in and talk about the music, I want to dive in and talk about your most recent signing to Elektra. How did this opportunity happen for you guys, and why did you guys feel that Elektra was the perfect home for New Rules?
Yes, good question. There's someone at the label called Kat, who's an A&R, and she was trying to sign us for, how long was it?
Two years, maybe. Yeah.
2 years. We were playing a little hard to get, but she would fly over to our UK shows, our UK and Ireland. I made her come to a Dublin show, and she came to see it, and they're some of our favorite shows. And yeah, I mean, we knew the vibe was great from her, but no, kind of like we were writing a lot over, and we just thought it was the right time to sign to a label. And then when we met everyone from Elektra, they were just felt like such a family, felt like such a welcoming home, really. So yeah, we love all the people there.
I think also Elektra have such a great history of bands. They have so many amazing iconic groups that we've kind of grown up listening to. So when we knew they were interested, we did play hard to get, but we were secretly very interested.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely a great list of artists that you guys are joining with the lineup. And as this opportunity happened, I'm sure you guys have already done your artist development process, and I'm sure you guys already know who you guys are as a band. But the fact that the three of you are such incredible vocalists, what was that initial process, trying to figure out where each voice kind of fit throughout your writing processes?
Thank you.
That's very kind. Are there three people behind us, or?
Yeah, the ones behind you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Remember being on the first time we were writing together and recording together. And you've said this before, but just we laid down obviously vocals for a chorus or whatever we were cutting at the time, and we were just oh, this kind of blends really nicely and it works. And I think we're very lucky in that sense that kind of our voices will kind of match and come together in a way that works. But yeah, I mean, three vocalists in a band, and we just try and make sure we all get our own moments and we can show off the three-part harmonies that we do, and yeah, it's been fun.
I feel like that's a challenge in itself, just because you all obviously want to showcase what you can do, but at the same time you don't want to do too much. So how did you guys go about as far as figuring out that balance between the three voices?
I think it's usually because we've been a band for about 3 years now, and we pretty much do the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but we do this every day. We kind of know where we fit now. When we write a song, we usually don't have to spend too much time kind of working it out. We usually kind of know who should take what part and kind of who should harmonize what part and where it should go. So it's usually quite an easy. Well, easy probably is the wrong word, but we usually kind of know what we're doing at that point.
Yeah, you are right though. It's trying to find ways to kind of not do too much and overdo it, and it's something we've been kind of diving into a bit more recently, because we've been recording these acoustic versions of a lot of our songs, and I think that's where we get to shine through vocally. But yeah, we've been working with this guy called Jono back home, who's kind of taught us a lot about just arranging our songs when it comes to harmonies and finding ways to kind of build and have troughs. And
that's been a big help. And I think yeah, I mean, obviously we don't want to overdo it, but I think it's it is a point of difference, having three vocalists, and yeah, I mean, three people who sing lead vocals, but also then we harmonize and kind of support each other. And yeah, it's fun, and we love doing it. I think it's a cool sound.
When it comes to the writing process, because the three of you are also string players, what is that kind of involvement between acoustic and electric and bass, and then kind of bringing in the rest of the band and the instrumentation?
It all tends to start on acoustic guitars. We play a bit of keys, but I'll confess I'm not great. So we don't really play around with piano too much when we're writing. But yeah, it starts on acoustics, and then once we've kind of got the song in a shape we feel good about, then we just start laying down the other instruments. We taught ourselves how to produce last year, and so we can kind of scratch up a rough demo So we'll put down loads of instruments and then send that off to someone who we think could finish the job.
I would say producers. Someone when we're in a room with the producer, I'd say they hate us because we're quite annoying. We want to like lay down about like 100 guitar parts, and then we put down bass parts and everything. And and then we're like, and then we're in a rehearsal room a few months down the line saying, how are we going to play all these guitar parts?
It's only like 15 extra guitars.
We need a few more members, I think.
There's a rumor that is it you two that have a band underneath the stage that kind of play the extra parts.
We're gonna need two.
We're gonna need two of those.
We've got 3 guys behind us. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We
I've been talking to the wrong band then. So as we dive in and talk about Cheers, your most recent single, I love that you guys were able to collaborate with Jesse St. John, another masterpiece of a songwriter. So what was that collaboration process like, and how do you guys feel that you, or what do you feel you taught him, and at the same time, what do you feel he taught you guys?
Good question.
Jesse's great. We did that over Zoom actually, so sadly wasn't like the same as in person, although it felt like our most like in-person Zoom session, if that makes sense. Sometimes Zoom sessions can be a real pain, but that was
I'm sorry.
this is like Zoom writing sessions. But, no, that was really natural, and we ended up writing the song really quickly.
Jesse's a pro. Like, I mean, Zoom writing can be quite difficult, and we haven't been doing a lot of it recently. We did quite a lot during. But he is very natural on it, and
really quick,
very quick. Yeah,
some people are really quick, and then you like hear the lyrics and you're like, oh well, it's not very good. But just goes away for 2 seconds and comes back with like this like verse lyric that's like, okay, yeah, we don't need to change that. Like really talented guy.
I love that, like with your music, like there's so much energy coming out of it as well. Like, and I feel like at a time like we've experienced these past 2 years of no concerts, no performances, no tours, I feel like it makes it challenging when you as an artist are writing a new song or even recording a new song, because you kind of don't have that fan experience in front of you, or that live show experience in front of you. What kind of challenges did you guys feel you faced during the creative process during these last 2 years?
That's a good question as well.
I think one main thing we always try and bear in mind when we're writing is just how is this going to sound live. That's always like the forefront of our minds when we go in to write a song, because we want to. Nathan has a mantra which is great. He says every show should be in a way like a rock show. So that's what we want to do. We want it to be like high energy. So we take that into a writing session, or like that's kind of always what we're thinking about. I guess a challenge, just making sure we're not just saying the same thing over again. That's a challenge.
Yeah, and I think at the start it was we've spoken to a lot of other like writers about this, but it was very easy to just fall into the trap of we have to write sad songs and and it's like sometimes it's easier to write sad songs, you know, and I don't know, I think we've kind of had we still write sad songs, but we've had a bit of a thing recently where it's like, no, the world's ready for the upbeat, happy, positive, feel good stuff.
Didn't want to write a song as well, because I feel like a lot of those came out of just didn't want to do one of them. I mean, not releasing music was not the best other tactic, but you know,
we wanted to get it right.
Yeah.
When it comes to writing new material, do you come into the studio or the session already having an identity in mind before you start writing, or do you just start writing and let the identity kind of show itself during the writing process?
It's always different. It depends kind of whether we're writing with like a producer or if we're just the three of us kind of at home. It's usually we kind of one of us will pick up acoustic guitar, and then we'll kind of start playing something, and then we'll start mumbling rubbish, and then something will come from that. But sometimes we'll come in with like a title or
chorus,
or like a little idea already.
And also we just like to listen to a lot of music before we go in. Like listen to other stuff that we're really enjoying at the time, and that can be sometimes just the best inspiration.
This year you guys were able to release 2 singles, and when I actually go to the Spotify, it seems like they're connected together. So are these 2 singles going to be part of a body of work that you guys are working on for 2022, or what are the plans for a body of work?
You sound like the fans on Twitter.
We're
Maybe I'm one
definitely
of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
well, we're definitely going to keep releasing music as much as we can. You know, it wasn't something we got to do a lot of last year, just because everything was a bit harder. But I think we're just going to make sure we're spitting out new songs every month next year. As for a body of work, there's nothing really kind of on the table at the moment, but maybe.
Planned, but maybe. I mean, would love to.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Those two songs are definitely brother and sister, which is why we kind of paired them together. When we wrote those, we knew that they're both kind of same part of the same story. So when we put them out, we wanted them to be kind of connected. But I think in the new year, there'll probably be something new.
Now, as far as brother and sister with the songs, tell me a little bit about Dahil Sa'yo Ako'y Matapang, Dahil Sa'yo Ako'y Lalaban. Let's talk about that collaboration you had with my boy Inigo, and like how did this kind of experience kind of happen, and kind of meshing the two songs, his single and your single, together.
Dude, it's so funny you said that. I was chatting to him the other day because on 2 occasions now, we have flown in and he's flown out of a place on the same day, and we just keep missing each other, and we're just like, we need to make sure we can link up.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's great. How did that come about? When was that? That was 2019, wasn't it? When we first
Early days, yeah.
picked up with Inigo. Yeah,
he was in London, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in London.
He was in London, and we were working with some Filipino guys on our team at the time. And we didn't know Inigo, which we're very ashamed of now, but they did, and they were like, "Oh, did you know like Inigo's in town?" And I think we reached out and we just said, "Do you fancy kind of catching up?" And we did, and we went to a studio and we did that, and it was cool. He's a really good guy.
But I love that, like, during this collaboration, you guys also sang in Tagalog. So what was that like, kind of learning the lyrics and like learning what you were saying at the same time?
I remember we learned the lyrics to that song while we were on the road, and it was like
the tour, the tour team hated us.
Yeah, it was us and our crew like in the back of a van, and it was just the three of us going, "I see your queen with that band, I see you," and they got sick of us pretty quickly, but it was fun. I still remember.
Yeah, I remember all of it.
I don't think I'll ever forget it.
It's a bang.
Yeah, we did it. We did it a lot of times. Because obviously it's not the easiest. Well, is it? It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it was. It was a lot of fun, and we tried to do that with like a couple of other things. Like we did Spanish in school and stuff, so we tried to like we've got some Spanish fans. We try like where it works, just like put a little Spanish twist on things as well. And I guess like the more countries that we go to, hopefully we can do more of it. But Philippines is definitely one. We need to learn more Tagalog, because I think the Dal CO novelty might wear off pretty quick. You did that last time.
Yeah, exactly. Just start writing your next single in Tagalog. Like,
yeah,
fine. Now, to close us off, you guys did mention that you have been a band for about 3 or 4 years. So that's still relatively like new and fresh for an artist, especially when it comes to the development process and kind of figuring out who you really are as an artist and what your sound's going to be like. Do you feel like you're still trying to figure out what New Rules is all about, or do you feel like you've already discovered like the sound and kind of just ran with it?
No, definitely. I think it's like, I mean, for us as well, we can't sit still. So it's always kind of adapting in ways. And I think, yeah, we definitely have a pretty assured sense of self right now and sense of identity for the band, but I'm not sure if that'll stay the same or change as we kind of grow and keep going and releasing music. The next kind of batch of music we're going to be releasing is quite different from the last stuff. It's still tied together with a thread. It's just I feel like that kind of thing will constantly be happening, and so who knows where New Rules will be in a year's time.
New rules.
New rules. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's what we find fun about it. It's just being able to experiment and mess around with our band.
When you say different from the current material, is it lyrics? Is it sonically? Is it the kind of instrumentation you guys are playing? Like, can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
I think it's everything. It's everything. I mean, from the first song that we released to the most current, they're very different songs. And it's just, it's like Al said, it's just like adapting as we kind of get better at things or get inspired by different things.
Yeah. Also, I think just playing shows again has made us realize how much we miss playing live and how much of a live band we are. So I think we've definitely experimented with that side of it a bit more, a bit bendier.
I guess this will be the final question. Sorry, I keep lying to you guys. But during this process from signing to Elektra, releasing this new material, discovering new fans, and kind of going through this crazy, wild 2 years that we went through, what did you guys discover about yourselves personally that you didn't know you could do before? Music-wise.
Work remotely, I think, is one thing.
Yeah, work remotely.
Zoom kind of changed everything. I know it did for like probably like most ways of life during that time, but like for music, like kind of going to Zoom to work with producers, that was a big difference.
I mean, I learned I've got a pretty short attention span off the back of that. It's haunting me. What else?
We learned. Well,
I think that, I mean, we went from being on one tour to the next tour to the next tour, and we were just really busy. We didn't have much time we always wanted to kind of start producing and start like recording our own demos and stuff, but we didn't have time before. And then we basically had all the time in the world out of nowhere. So, I mean, we get pretty, they're rough, but we get pretty good demos over to people now. And I mean, that's something we want to keep working on, and hopefully sooner rather than later, we're producing our own stuff as well. All of it.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely all not the same right as we were before. It just gave us a lot of time to kind of hone all of it. And, you know, we were kind of, it was just the three of us in our house in London, kind of writing every day. And it definitely taught us a lot. So.
Amazing. Well, congratulations, guys. I'm looking forward to new material from you guys in the new year. Enjoy the rest of the holidays, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Of course, thanks so much.
Yeah, great chat.
Merry Christmas.